Miss Tate, I understand that you went to the scene of the crime after you got a call from your daughter. Could you run me through? Miss Tate, I understand that you
Well, I was sleeping. I was asleep, sleeping, and between 12:19, some message was coming on my phone, but I was sleeping. I couldn't read the message at the time. So when it was 12, between approximately like 12:27, I heard the phone ring, and I jumped out of my sleep. And then when I picked up the phone, and I said, hello, hello. And then all I heard Ali saying, Daniel. And I wasn't hearing anything after, and it cut off. And he heard I was saying, what? So he ended up calling from his phone to her, to Ali's phone, right? So Ali is my daughter, you know. So he ended up picking up his phone and calling to Ali and asking her, what happened? You called Daniel's phone, and Ali answered. And she told him whatever, but I didn't get to hear what she told him, but she will have to ask my husband what she told him.
Right.
But when I reached there, I saw the landlady, our daughter, had my grandchild holding. Mm-hmm. And my grandchild was half naked. Mm-hmm. So I asked her what happened to my son. And she turned and said, your son was stabbed and he gone to the hospital.
That's what the landlady said to you?
The landlady daughter.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Say, your son, because I asked her, what you doing, my granddaughter? And she said, well, Alia and my son and somebody else gone to the hospital. He was stabbed. And then I started inquiring more about this thing, and the landlady, no, she put chair to the window. I say, she started talking a whole lot of different things. Girl, your son gone to the hospital. They had some little thing going on there, right? But I didn't have time I didn't have too much time with you, because all I was asking what happened to my son. And I started bursting down in tears. That is all. I started bursting down in tears, and I started, inquiring what was going on. And I was so traumatized, I was just crying all the time, crying.
When did you learn that your son actually died?
I learned that when I go to the hospital, mm-hmm. right? When I go to the hospital, then when the grandmother came out and said, mm-hmm. he's gone. He already gone over to the mortuary, because I come into the emergency now to see him. But she said she already seen him, because she left and went before, because I was still at the apartment. She said, the doctor showed she, and he's already gone over. Right? So I did not get to see him.
The landlady also said that your son was the aggressor and not her son.
Well, knowing my son, I know he's not an aggressive child. Right? Because if he was an aggressive person, nothing like that would have happened to him. Right? I know my son well. But I tell him from my experience, he growing up with me, my son is not the type of person. And if we have a quarrel going on in the household, he would say, Mommy, this is not it. Just cool out. He would pick, if he have to go on the road, he would go on the road. Well, if he have his vehicle and so he's gone and he relax himself. He don't like war, I'm telling you, he don't like war. So what she's staining my son with, I know that's totally lie. Right? She just coming up against him because a lot of differences. She have a way, like, to me, that she don't want to see young people prosper or something. Mm-hmm. So she started building up a lot of things against my son. And I'm grieved about this situation, because it is not an easy time to sit down and thinking about all of these things, and then, knowing that this thing was, like, it was a plan something, And sometimes people who you trust is be the one that betray you and doing a lot of things. When you think about this thing, it is hurting me so much that nobody it is hurting me so much. You understand? And when I sit and I see this landlady today, bringing all this lie and all this allegation against me, son, it wasn't an easy thing to think about. It's not something easy. Because all these lies that she talk, my son is this and he's that. If he was the type of person, you think your son would be alive today? He's not a person. He's a very peaceful child. That's why he was going to make peace. He was going his way to make peace. And I don't think that even 12 o'clock in the night, why somebody's supposed to knocking at your door, knocking at your door. You're disturbing the child peace, so he's supposed to be knocking there. And then I'm saying, even if my son was in there and the landlady and the man was in there, she had all right to call the police. She had all right to call the police. She is the one who encouraged everything. And I need she to be charged. I need justice for my son because she is the one who caused this whole thing. I need justice to my son. And I'm calling on Mr. Ali. And I'm calling all the people who could help me out and authorities and all them things. I need justice. And he was a GRA worker and he's a very peaceful child. Anybody who know Dwayne, they will know how he stay. He never picked no story in this area. And why I'm crying because I dedicated myself to my children. I never really do no all day work and all kind of thing. Because I always say, what? I want to keep in line. I want to focus on what my children is doing and everything. I want to make sure they get a good education. Sometimes when parents get started, you need your children to get it. This is why I never really do a full-time job. You understand? I used to sit down and tell myself, I don't want to do a full-time because I want to know what is going on with your schooling and everything. And even if they got to go on sports, anything I would go. Right? And even sometimes if me get to go, his grandma would go. He was a very loving child. And that is Dwayne. And even when he coming up, he would say, Mommy, I will make you proud because I need you to come out of struggle. I know. And he said, if you want to come out of struggle, you have to get a good education. And that is what he always aiming for. That's what he acquired. You understand? And he was going higher because he done graduated at UG. He went to Kong School. He went to St. Joseph. If you know he teach, if they go and find it from his school, what kind of child? When he write his CXC, he came up with all distinction. When so he said, and he had some plans and everything. But then that's what I'm saying. The enemy is me around you and you don't even know. Right?
So you are saying two things to me there in
Yeah.
that full breath. That you believe that your son was leaving the apartment to make peace, one.
Yeah.
And that two, he was not the aggressor.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. My son wasn't the aggressor. I believe he wasn't the aggressor.
You believe?
I believe.
Did your son ever reach out to you for unpaid rent? Because that was another accusation.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. He always pays rent in full. Even before the due date, he always pays rent. Right? Because I even have, I had some documents there for him. And she owe him 2 months rent. She owe him 2 months rent, the security.
That's what I want to get.
Right? 2 months security. And I believe that is what's called, if she don't want to give him back his security, she should build something against him, right? Because she want him out. So he mustn't get his money back. But he know he rights because at the time that she was telling him to leave, that wasn't the day he's supposed to leave. He's not a stupid child. He's very smart. I'm telling you, I know my son. He's very smart. Sometimes he would sit down and advise me about certain things. Sometimes I might think a little rational. He said, Mommy, this is not how things is go. He would sit down and he's always telling me how to do things, how to go about things. So when I hear certain things about when she was talking about Daniel, my son, I said, that is not my son at all. I know him. I know my son. Because he have his sisters and one is studying, she's studying law. Sometimes he'd come and sit down and he would tell her how you go about things and so. The other one doing dentistry and he would sit down and chat with him because he got experience in different fields. So, right? So I feel so sad that all my son's life was gone down. And he was innocent. He didn't deserve to go down like that. And he didn't live all his dreams as yet. Even at he have his baby now, and I'm thinking about her, how she will come up on them things. He never had a dream to leave his child like that. He always have Zara around him. Because he grew up with his father, and he grew up with me, and even his grandmother with his side, and so on, other siblings and relatives and them things. And he has one a lifestyle. It's he get a pattern from us.
Let me ask you a final question. And I must tell you, a very strong woman to be sitting here talking to me today. Let me ask you this question. The landlady said to me that she believes that the murder of your son was not intentional. She said she believes it was a mistake. You think it was a mistake?
No, that was an intentional murder, and it was a planned murder. That was a planned murder. Because I'm saying, if she could have called the police, right? But she did not call the police. So don't let she talk them nonsense. Because if she could have called the police and things would have been different, but it was something planned to kill my son, murder my son, 12 in the time, That is it. There's not no what she's saying is not an intentional murder. That's an intention. There's a murder was to carry out and they plan it. You understand? Premeditated murder.
Police are preparing the suspect for court. What would you like to see happen in the court's domain for your son? I know you said you need justice, but type of justice.
Yeah, but I want to see life imprisonment for you. I want to get life imprisonment. That's why I'm calling on the president, Mr. Ali, to step in there and other person in authority. I want to see you get life imprisonment. And even I need her to be charged, right? Because she's the one who has got, right? She is the accomplice.
Thank you. Mr. Taitt, your son has been murdered.
Yes, sir.
There are all sorts of allegations leveled against him by his landlady. Could you respond to some of those? I mean, you know your son better than anybody else.
Well, first, I never had cause to beat my son. My son never get licks from me, nor his mother. Never went in a fight wrong here. At school, none of his school. I never get no call, no complaint from his school. All my children was love at St. Pius. All of them was top cheering for St. Pius. So there was love by all the teachers.
Right.
Never in a fight. He wrong here. If anybody wrong here could tell you, will tell you that. I just go to the school.
You listened to the interview from the woman?
Yeah.
Which of her stories do you believe?
None. Just like the whole public. Exactly. What the public, everybody pick up, everybody saying, exactly. Nothing of the sort. Nothing. I grow my son that the world will love him. And so the other sisters them. Because I never sleep out for my child, my children them. I never had 2 women or 3 women. My mother alone, my wife alone. I put all my, from 25 years ago, I rearranged my life so that I could paint a perfect future, a perfect example for my children them, so that nobody could ever tell them, well, no bad report about the father. So I make sure Daniel see the example. And those Daniel become the part. Because you can't live a double life and produce these other children. Things don't happen like that. So I make sure I try, I even like history. I like reading. I never put my child into sports or not. They always see me reading. If I know want your children see reading, they're going to become in the love of books too. I never, like I said, never sleep out. Never hurt the mother spiritually or physically. I always try my best to make sure that I know they got to see a perfect example.
Tell me about the moment you got the call to go down to your son's house.
Well, I saw she wake up and think on she phone. I always ask she is who call because we sleep on both bed all the time. Mm-hmm. On one bed all the time.
Right.
Never sleep apart, no night.
Right.
So every time she get a call, I would ask her, is who call?
Right.
And when she tells her something Alia call and she ain't hearing she too properly. I pick up my phone right away and dial my son number. And that's the phone that Alia had. And right away she tell me, she cry and tell me, Daniel just get stabbed, y'all come down quick. So I put drag her on clothes, she drag her on clothes and we ride and go down. And we go down there, nobody in there yet. So she said the mother said she gonna stay here, you go land in the hospital. So I go down at the hospital and I see my daughter-in-law. And I didn't get time for go down with mask, everything. So I went out to the front of the hospital, left forget the mask. So when I get the mask and I going back into the hospital now to see my daughter again, she just tell me the doctor come out and said Daniel ain't make it.
Sorry.
And then I left there now for go back to get my wife at the premises there. And then we go and get she back there and then we go back to the hospital there. And for me,
what would you like to see happen now, develop with this case?
Well, first of all, her son committed the murder, and she is the cause of it. She's the first one to be charged. Because it starts with she. Because you're doing a business with my son, and you had no right to implicate a third party inside it.
So you want her to be charged?
For force. Because she claiming she's son went there for weed and oh, your son will be weeding at 12 o'clock at night. Your son wasn't there. You call your son when you know my son come home. Because my son went with some friends and he come home for get rest. You see my son come home and you call your son. Right? She called his son, and knowing the type of person she's son is, I started to get report that she should do this already. She son knows to come and bully the other tenants, them and them kind of thing. So she know exactly what she was doing. But she called his son and know he done got the knife arm and them sort of thing. So he knocking at the door and kicking on my son's bike and y'all come out, I gonna murder you. If you ain't counted by time 12 o'clock, I gonna murder y'all. So me you hear your son gonna murder y'all. Y'all is not my son alone, my granddaughter, my daughter-in-law. And you ain't doing nothing about it. You ain't call the police nothing for stop your son, or you see your son going on like they say. You sit down, you stay watching and allow this thing to happen.
So you want the law to take justice?
Yeah. Justice got started from she. Cause my son signed a business with you. You had no right to implicate your son. Bringing a third party and a type of character who your son is. So come and hurt my son somebody that I never had chance to put a whip. Not even the school had no report that did that. They'll never get licks in school, nothing. Never fight in school, nothing wrong here. And then when she done, she sit down now and painting all this negative picture. That's why the whole public reply. Because my son, he get well known. And every day, like I said, I train my children them and grow them that people would appreciate them and love them wherever they go. And that's exactly why it's happening. All where these children go, people will love them.
You believe your son was accidentally killed?
No. Because he already had a knife. You don't say you're going to murder them if they come out by time 12.
Okay.
So there can't be an accident no more.
Intention.
It is intention. And you as a mother, she was hearing these things. You're supposed to know that words, people that go through it with words. Because he done said, oh, you could hear your son saying these things and you don't do nothing about it. So could never be an accident.
Thank you. Your grandson grew with you. How would you describe him?
Well, Travis, Daniel, he attended St. Pius School when he was small here with me. Then he went on to St. Joseph, and he had like a taste for knowledge. From an early age, I saw that in him. He was very ambitious. We trained him to be very respectful and mannerly to his peers, elders, and even brought us up to be pugnacious. He was much loved by friends, work colleagues, neighbors. They can also testify to this. in this situation that took place a few days ago, left me and a lot of us in shock. It's like you take away a part of me, because Daniel was always with me. Daniel was not the aggressor. He was not. He was attacked by a criminal, I would call him, who has no regard for another person's life. He was in his home sleeping peacefully for the next day's work. I was made to understand this man always with his own mother and siblings, and she was always cover up for him. I was told that by relatives that knew the mother. I won't put their name on the media. And I feel that Daniel was like everybody I could come here and say, your best grandson, because even my daughter used to get vexed. I used to tell her friends, she's your best grandson, I ain't getting what he getting. I had a shop in front there. Daniel would come home in the afternoon, take over from me, my shop. The little pittance, he know how to calculate it and say, this is for this you make, that for that, and these kind of things. I could have leave Daniel with anything. I had high ambitions to Daniel too. He was never rude to me, only you're getting big and you get, but he never answered back. If I start to row with him, through the door. It really hurt me when I jump out my bed and I didn't even have finding clothes to put on. I know how I meet there. They never went to the place. They never came to the place. Because when I went to the place, their Travis were like my whole state. I didn't like the place. I said, this is where my Daniel come to live. This place, like I felt cold. I used to go to Unity Church. And I know what I was feeling. I was really, really hurt. And to know my elder sisters involved in this, it really, really hurt me, Travis. Daniel wasn't that person, what she's describing. Daniel was Daniel. Every friend come here for the past couple of days, bursting into tears for Daniel. And I know the type of grandson I had. I know. I can say it. He wasn't no aggressor. He wasn't a fighter. I don't even know if he was a lover. But I know he couldn't even dance. I was the dancer for Daniel and the drinker. I want shame to tell you that.
That's all right. That's all right.
So it really, like if you take a piece out of me, I jump out my bed when I hear Daniel and man killing. When I go to the place there now, I'm thankful to the guy that took me to the hospital. When I see Daniel wrap up, that's the last I saw. I couldn't even touch him to say, you're gone. By the time they came, they was rolling him over to the morgue. So I really would miss Daniel. He didn't deserve to go down like that. I had preferred he had the COVID or he was sick and I seen him in hospital. So that is my intake on it. It's very sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's really sad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Travis.
We need justice
For my grandson.
We need justice.
I need justice for my
The
grandson.
mother need to be charged.
I need him.
The mother must be charged. She's an accomplice to the murder
She started.
of our beloved Daniel.